What if we adjust our nervous system? What if we adjust our nervous system? What if the way that we think, like the things that we do, and then think that okay, it's just the way we are, is as a result of stored responses in our nervous system that were built over time by different events in our lives from childhood up to this adulthood for those of us that are adults? What if the way we handle relationships, money, expenses, friendships, jobs, businesses is as a result of our nervous system? And I was just thinking as usual, and then it's helped me to look at myself in a different light. I'm not even going to lie. It helps me to look at myself in a different light. Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Cyrene, and um this is okay. My channel is basically me sharing my thoughts, my opinions, my experiences, and weird stuff like this now. I think this is something I've noticed a lot. I do it a lot whenever I'm on camera. I start feeling itchy. I don't know. But yes, this is where I share my candid life to a reasonable extent. Not everything though. And I hope you stay tuned. So I'm going to discuss ways which our nervous system actually shapes us. So yeah, we are going to discuss ways in which our nervous system shapes us. And as usual, I mean, they are my thoughts. So whenever they come, I kind of just write them down fast, so that I will not forget. And I'm going to do a lot of flipping, as you can already hear. So our nervous system is constantly trying to protect us. Like, is nervous system. I mean, I don't know the definition, but I want to like go by the name nervous system. Nerves, what happens? How does nerves happen? Nerves happen when something that is capable of making you nervous, anxious, uneasy happens, and then your body sends that signal through your nervous system to warn you. Now, if you now relate it to the actual function, nervous system is actually made to protect us at all times. So whenever something is going on, it's your brain trying to connect it to like maybe past events or things that you've heard, read, experienced, lived through. And then if it connects it to something that it thinks is traumatic or not safe, it is going to try to protect you. And let me tell you, the nervous system is always active. It's always active in your thoughts, the way you perceive life, the way you interact with people, the things in your head, the things you see when you see, like, something about perceiving things. Not every human being perceive. We could be looking at the same event, the same story, the same video, and then perceive it completely different because we have different nervous systems that were shaped by different environments, different cultures, different families, different life experiences that are unique to us as individuals. So I'm going to refer back to my book and let's see how I wrote down here. So the reason why I'm going to read a lot from this book is because, and don't mind the noise outside. Let us just focus on us. The reason why I'm going to read a lot from this book is because whenever thoughts come to my head, I just write. I write and write, and then because my thoughts can be scattered, if I don't write it down, I'll end and then decide to just make the video. I end up rambling, like I end up trying to get out so much at the same time. So yeah, this is our rescue. So the nervous system is constantly helping us decide whether something feels safe, stressful, threatening, or manageable. That's what the nervous system is there for. So when someone has lived through prolonged stress or difficulty experiences, their responses can become easily triggered or hard to turn off. For example, if you grew up in an African home, it gets to a point in your life where, as a child growing up, if any of your parents does, you flinch, because your nervous system understands that whenever they do that kind of a thing is discipline. That kind of example. And I would have given more, but let me just go straight because this video might be long. It might be very long. And like I said, don't mind the noise in the background. Just focus on me. So, like how I said, the nervous system is basically um, conditioned by experiences and all that. That doesn't mean that your nervous system is permanently fried. I mean, your brain and your nervous system, they are easily adaptable, so you can always turn back. That's why therapy works, because the therapy is basically you healing your nervous system. Basically, if you can heal your nervous system, most of your problems, most of your life issues or bad habits as an adult, most, not all, are going to be wiped off. So I was looking at ways which nervous system could actually affect the average adult, and I came up with a few. These are not solutions. These are like ways to know that your nervous system might be working. Now, this is just my personal experience. This is not like absolute. It's not like something that I got after having this very detailed research. No, this is just me. So the first one is that you may react to things before understanding why. For example, I had this colleague. She had this. She not. I won't say she's hard of hearing, but she has this hearing impediment. Abi, where she can hear you but not clearly. So whenever you whenever you call her name, let's say her name is X, you be like, X, can you hear me? She becomes very defensive because she thinks that you're calling her deaf. And because she has this thing with her ear, she talks very loud. And because she talks very loud and she's very defensive, it can be very annoying sometimes. So whenever you tell her, X, please can you tone it down? X will become defensive and then she'll now shout more. Now, you might just want to just sometimes you don't even need to be talking about her. She just has to like perceive or think that you're talking about her and then she becomes defensive. That is the nervous system. And after there was a time, okay, during when I was still working with her, because I no longer work like with her, we had a conversation where she opened up and told us that because she was bullied a lot when she was growing up for the issue, and then the way she talks, she's very defensive, that when somebody makes any remark or anything, she becomes shy, she wants to defend herself. That is why she acts that way. Now, this is not something that she picked up as an adult. This is something that has been happening to her from childhood through to primary, secondary, and university education. It's something that she has lived with most of her adult life. That is how it was shaped. So your nervous system can make you see harm in something that is harmful, and again see something that is harmful as harmless. For example, if you're someone that you grew up maybe amongst family members that can be jealous, you know what to look out for. Someone that grew up in a family that they are not jealous, or maybe they're not manipulative, is going to it's just like sending a sheep into of wolves. I don't know how to put this thing. Have you okay. Anyways, it has to do with nervous systems. So I cannot explain it to you if you've not experienced it. So people that know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about. Where if you grow up around people that jealous, you tend to notice patterns easily. Like you tend to like pick it up. And then even if people around you are not jealous, you assume that they are going to be jealous. So you're always guarded. You're not relaxed. Now, if you're someone that grew up in a place that everybody's in harmony, nobody's jealous of anybody, even if you're in a pack of wolves or people that are very jealous, you will not perceive it because you're not looking out for jealousy and you're that innocent. And because of that, even in the midst of people that are very jealous of you, you're not guarded. Therefore, your body is relaxed. That's how the nervous system is. So it it makes you react to things before you even find out, oh, is this what you're trying to tell me? Is this what is really going on? Like I might be saying something very harmless and then you react in a very negative way. And I might be saying something that is harmful, but because you're not thinking of it that way, you react in a very calm or positive way. So it's part of it. So for example, let me look for common examples. Okay, yes. We've all been in relationships at one point in our lives. So example of someone that their nervous system is always scanning for issues is someone that if their partner's tone of voice should change, they become very restless. They ask questions like, "Are we okay? Are we good? Is everything fine? Are they angry with me?" Like simple tone of voice changing without the other person even telling you what they have in mind. You have created so many scenarios because your nervous system is always looking for threats, changes. Do you understand? So it can make you react in a certain way that on a normal day you be like, I can never do things like this and all that, but you see yourself doing it because that is what your nervous system has been conditioned to do because of past experiences, things that you feed your brain, things that you watch, things that you read, things that you see. Someone that grew up in a war zone will react differently to sound of a firecracker or knockout, like we say in Nigeria, than someone that grew up in a place that firecrackers are just a form of celebration. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Then the next one is second point is that you may become hyper aware of other people's behavior. I just kind of explained that in now. So when people change the way they talk to you, their countenance changing, their body language changing, you notice because your body has been built to accommodate people. So you're kind of, now this is my personal experience, what I related to myself from my findings. So because your body is so used to, has been subject, no, your system, your nervous system has been subjected to accommodating other people like your whole life. You tend to like check for those small cues and changes in their behavior, their tone of voice, their body language, everything. You're just hyper aware. You're hyper aware. Now I'm not saying that this is a that whenever you're like this, it means that your nervous system is having issues or fried or protecting you. I'm just saying, but it's part of it. It's something that could happen. It's not the only the only cause of it. So this could be you. This could be not you. Just know that this is my experience I am sharing to the world. And now that I'm even thinking of it, this channel initially was to just share my experience, but I think it's going to be me recording my personal growth in real time, and I am actually so excited. Okay, so yes, so you ask things like why did they pause? You ask someone a question and then they pause before they answer, and then you're like, why did they pause? And annoying thing is that when it comes to things like this, you never have it in your mind to ask. You rather make up scenarios in your head than go ahead to ask. I mean, sometimes asking doesn't necessarily mean that you get your answer, but like you understand what I'm trying to say. You don't ask, you just assume, and then you bury yourself in all those assumptions. Okay, so now being observant is not a bad thing. Trust me, it's not a bad thing. But if it's coming from a place of being hyper vigilant, you're trying to understand people, read meaning into everything that they're saying. You're It's not okay. I mean, allow yourself to live because it gets to a point where you cannot even enjoy simple conversations, and it's not nice. Allow yourself to live. Yeah, I always preach shadow work. Do shadow work. Me said I'm saying it. I've not done it very well, but like I'm in the process. So do shadow work and heal your nervous system and see how your life will transform. This is me on my journey, and you people are going to be here on this app and see me grow. My name is Siren. You heard it from me that you will be here and see me grow. Yeah, so the next one is you may struggle to relax even when nothing is wrong. Sometimes, and this is happens with mostly old people in the village, in our villages, where you see an old person, they like working, they're always busy, maybe in their farm with their business and whatever. And then the moment you take that thing away from them, they become down, they become weak. Like it would be as if you're punishing them instead of trying to help them. Some of them even go as hard as far as kicking the buckets, like just going like that. Can you imagine? Now, I love dark humor. It's not, this one is not even dark, but just understand I love dark humor. So understand me. So nervous system can make you look for things to do. Like maybe you're in a room, you finished all your chores, or maybe you're in the office, you finish everything that you're supposed to do. You go around looking for things to do. It may not necessarily be work, but like you're looking for, you want to touch your phone. You must, people that cannot stay without listening to music, you cannot stay in calmness. You cannot spend time with yourself. Like you cannot be in solitude. You say things like I'm an introvert, but half of the time that you're an introverted introvert, you're scrolling through TikTok, Instagram, social media, you're chatting, you're texting, you're reading. Like you cannot just stay without moving around, without looking for something to do. And then this particular one now made me ask myself a question like, do I know how to rest, or do I know how to stop working? There are different things. You can stop working, but your brain is active. You're looking for things to do. You're restless. You cannot sit at a place. You're just walking around. But if you're resting, you're resting. So now ask myself, do I know how to rest, or do I just know how to not to stop working? Guess the answer. If you guessed it right, good for you. If you not guessed it right, still good for you. But the thing is, you will not hear the answer from my mouth. Yeah. So, the next one is you may avoid things that make you uncomfortable. This is like normal. You avoid things that make you uncomfortable. For example, this one comes as ego sometimes, but it's not ego, it's your nervous system. Things like you don't know how to respond to criticism, constructive ones, you react to it, you flare up. Corrections, because it makes you uncomfortable, you flare up. You're asked out to a party, and because you're used to maybe people not feeling pretty, or people like looking down on you, or maybe you feel like you're not good enough, you're going to avoid that party. You're not going to that party. Or I even wrote down some examples. I don't know why I'm stressing myself. um you simply don't go, or you don't make the call, or you postpone it. Maybe you're supposed to have a very serious conversation, and then because it makes you uncomfortable, you keep postponing it. Maybe you want to apply for a post or something, but because of the scrutiny and putting yourself out there that comes with it, you just postpone it, or you just give up. Sometimes in a vehicle or in a class, you know what to say, you know what to do, but because people looking at you or hearing your voice makes you uncomfortable, please and ignore the noise. People are just being weird outside. Ignore the noise. I don't have my own house, so I have neighbors. So like, back to what I was saying. So you get the whole picture. You just stay. I've had I've been in a situation whereby I was very pressed. Like I was pressed. People were going to go and urinate, come back. use themselves, come back, use the restroom. However you say it in your own place, come back. And I was so pressed, but because I didn't want to stand up and say I'm pressed, and then I thought of how to walk down from where I was staying at the back to go to the front. Like this was during my NYS. We were having our Said classes. I almost urinated on myself that day. I am not even joking. I almost now I chose that level of discomfort just because I didn't want to do something that made me uncomfortable. And the thing about that is that it keeps you stagnant because you never know whether you can actually do what you said you're going to. And you never know whether you can actually do that thing you think you cannot do. You never put yourself out there or give yourself the opportunity to feel or experience that particular thing, which is bad though. I mean, it's bad. So it doesn't always mean that um you avoiding things that make you uncomfortable means that your nervous system has to be taken care of or needs to be regulated or healed. But do with the information what you want to do with it. It is just my personal thoughts and opinions, and this anything I'm saying now is relating to my life and how I've been living. Yeah, my personal experiences. So the next one is it can affect how you handle conflict. Yes, this one. Some people handle conflicts by confronting it. Some become avoidant. Some become emotional. Some become aggressive. Some become quiet. Some just disappear. All these things are not just because I mean no some cases, let me not say absolute all cases, but these things are as a result of your nervous system reacting, protecting you. That flight of fight mood is also part of upbringing. Some people now in a street fight like this, they will tear everybody, like they will show you that they are, yeah, this is me. They'll show you how powerful they are. While some will just run away. Like they'll talk their tails, and people like me still. I mean I'm both sides of the coin. I am pepper, I am salt. Please. So like yeah, like for people like me, I'll still run in that kind of conflict. So it depends on this also is part of like what's how your nervous system can affect you as an adult. So yeah, nervous system can affect how you handle conflict, whether you dialogue, whether you just go ghost, whether you talk or cry or shout or you got the full gist. That was the fifth one. Then the number six of the whole kini matter is that it can influence relationships. All these people that are used to avoidant, sorry, all these avoidants where you love intimacy, you want people to come close to you, but when they come close to you because of the fact that you don't even believe that you deserve love, nervous system, or you're scared of intimacy or closeness so that they don't see you for who you are because maybe there's something you're hiding, or maybe you just grew up in a place where people that have always come close to you always end up leaving. It depends on you at the end of the day. What I'm just trying to say is that it can influence your relationships. I've gone through it. Sometimes I crave friendships, and then when people eventually try to like come close to me or whatever, I just disappear. Like I lock up. I always say I want to be invited out to parties. I want to go to birthdays. But the moment you invite me, that moment, the moment to end the conversation or to stop the WhatsApp chat, I'm thinking of excuses to not go. And then the thing is that it can still come in a different form where you're thinking of excuses. Sometimes you think of excuses immediately the call ends. Sometimes you genuinely want to go, but when that day comes, your nervous system overrides everything, your resolve, and then you see yourself not going. You're looking for excuses on not to go. That's why the I'm an introvert thing comes in, because sometimes it's not that you're introverted, it's just that your nervous system is has so much protected you that you don't even see that this is protection. You don't even see, and this brings me next um to the next point where it changes what feels normal for you, like the reality, your normal, like it changes what feels normal to you. It changes what feels normal to you. Things that people like us, or people that are not like, because me, I also have things that my nervous system does or protects me from, that I know, like, because I'm doing shadow work, so I kind of have been working on myself. So like, things like, let me check. Things like, so things like, okay, for example, people that sabotage themselves. I've done it, where you're used to you're used to relationships where, ah, the person is just going to fuck up, the person is going to do something weird, like you just anticipate it, and then you start creating scenarios in your head, and then you start looking too deep, to the point where you start finding faults that sometimes they were there, sometimes they are not there. Now this thing now doesn't always mean that your intuition is wrong, that your nervous system is that it's just your nervous system, because it could be your intuition trying to help you. My intuition has helped me several times. But still, there's another angle of it where it is just your nervous system trying to find something familiar to justify what you're feeling, to justify your fears. Yes, your system can look for ways to justify your fear, your anxiety, your obsession with something. You start seeing it everywhere. But that's by the way. What I'm trying to say is that you could be in a very peaceful romantic relationship and then still feel restless and unfamiliar, because your body does not understand that peace of mind. You could have a high paying job, and then you're because you're not used to sitting under an AC and just doing your job softly, you just almost self sabotage by, or maybe because you're not used to that relaxation, instead of relaxing like your colleagues, you're looking for what to do. People are busy relaxing, you're looking for what to do. So also, you see comments online, like maybe someone posts a luxurious lifestyle, others are like, I'll never get to this point in life. Others will say things like, these people that are so rich, they are nobody, they didn't come with, and it's not coming from clean money. People, there's some people in this world that genuinely think that clean, like, being, people cannot get very wealthy from clean money. I personally have seen it. I've experienced it, where someone got went from dirt, not even grass, dirt, like real dirt, to extreme grace. I used to have that mindset that clean money doesn't come, sorry, huge amount of wealth doesn't come from clean money, but it's not true. Why someone does not experience it will vow, die on that hill, that clean money can never make you as wealthy as some people. So it's just all about conditioning and your nervous system. So these are just my personal opinions on how I think my nervous system has shaped my life and how it is shaping my life. And you don't have to agree with me. You don't have to believe me. And then because this is just my opinion and then my experience, you have your own. So feel free to comment your experience in the comment section. And thank you so much for coming to the end of this video. My name is Cyrene, and I am so happy that you're at the end of this video. So if you feel like you learned something, or I need to learn something, feel free to comment in the comment section. And please do like, comment, subscribe, share, and turn on that bell thing, so that whenever I post, you'll be the first to know. All these things I mentioned are free. Please be kind and then subscribe. Thank you, and see you next time. Bye.